You might be wondering why cooperative societies, which many of you study for UPSC, were given constitutional status by the 97th Amendment and how that matters for questions on federalism and governance. By the end of this video, you will be completely clear about what the amendment did, how Part 9b works, and which points examiners love to test. Think of this as a simple map that takes you from the old world of state-only laws to a clearer constitutional framework for cooperatives. First, let us see what a cooperative society is in one line. A voluntary, member-driven body formed for mutual economic and social benefit. Cooperatives follow democratic control, collective ownership, and aim to serve members rather than maximize profits like companies. The big change came with the 97th Constitutional Amendment of 2011, which gave cooperative societies constitutional recognition. The amendment did three headline things. It acknowledged the right to form cooperatives under Article 19, inserted Article 43b as a directive principle, and added Part 9b to the Constitution. Article 19 recognition means citizens have the freedom to form cooperatives as part of their basic rights. Article 43b directs the state to promote self-help and viable cooperative societies, making cooperative promotion a constitutional priority for policy. Part 9b, covering Articles 243ZH to 243ZT, creates a specific constitutional slot for cooperative legislation and governance rules. Now let us break Part 9b into easily digestible pieces so you can visualize how power flows and where exam questions may come from. Primary rule. State legislatures may make laws for incorporation, regulation, and winding up of cooperative societies founded on cooperative principles. But for multi-state cooperative societies, Parliament has the legislative competence. And that distinction is crucial for federal questions in mains. Remember this line for answers. Cooperatives are primarily a state subject, except multi-state cooperatives which fall to Parliament. Part 9b also emphasizes cooperative principles such as voluntary formation, democratic control, member economic participation, and autonomous functioning. On governance specifics, the state may determine the number of directors, but a cooperative cannot have more than 21 directors. Directors generally hold office for 5 years unless the law says otherwise, and elections must be held before the existing board's term ends. The state can create an election authority to oversee preparation of rolls and conduct of elections, a detail often tested in exams about institutional design. If a board persistently defaults or acts prejudicially, the law allows for supersession or suspension, usually not exceeding 6 months in ordinary cases. Other procedural duties include mandating annual audits, filing returns within 6 months of the financial year end, and convening general body meetings within 6 months. The state may also define offences and penalties to ensure accountability and protect member interests, which links to the rule of law angle in answers. Part 9b applies to union territories too, though the President may exclude provisions for a specific union territory by order. Another nuanced point UPSC can test. Why was the amendment needed in the first place? The cooperative sector had grown large but suffered from weak governance, delayed elections, and political interference. Constitutional recognition aimed to protect member interests, strengthen democratic processes, and push for professional management and better accountability. Let us contrast cooperatives with companies so you can answer comparative questions sharply. Cooperatives are formed to serve members' common needs and follow one member, one vote, while companies aim to maximize shareholder profit and weight votes by shareholding. Membership in cooperatives is based on use and participation, and surplus is usually used for member benefit or reinvestment rather than dividend maximization. These differences often form the backbone of short answer and essay questions comparing cooperative and corporate governance models. But be honest about problems. Political influence, poor training of office bearers, weak audits, and variation in state laws continue to hamper many cooperatives. That is why effective implementation of Part 9b and complementary state and central laws matters more than the amendment text alone. For your exam strategy, highlight both the constitutional provisions and implementation challenges when discussing cooperatives in mains answers. This concept is very important for your exams because questions often probe federal division of powers, directive principles like Article 43b, and governance reforms. Also expect prelims questions on specific limits, like the maximum of 21 directors or the 5-year term for directors. Now for the key idea most UPSC aspirants miss. Constitutional recognition did not transfer all cooperative power to the center. State primacy remains, with Parliament stepping in only for multi-state bodies. That subtle federal balance explains many policy debates and is a sharp point to include in mains answers on cooperative governance and center-state relations. To summarize simply, the 97th Amendment recognized cooperatives in Article 19, created Article 43b as a directive principle, and added Part 9b for cooperative law and governance. It preserved state legislative power over cooperatives, gave Parliament authority for multi-state bodies, and stressed democratic control, audits, elections, and member rights. Remember the practical points: max 21 directors, 5-year terms, elections before term expiry, annual audit and returns within 6 months, and general body within 6 months of year end. Implementation gaps remain a testable weakness, so always combine constitutional provisions with real-world challenges in your answers. You are closer to turning this topic into a crisp answer for UPSC once you link text, principles, and implementation. If you want, practice framing a 200 to 250 word mains answer now, using the constitutional changes, cooperative principles, and the federal balance we discussed. That practice will cement facts like Article 19 recognition and Article 43b while letting you show analytical depth on center-state roles. Thank you for listening. This structure will help you answer prelims fact-based questions and craft balanced mains answers on cooperatives. Keep revising the key points and test yourself on the constitutional articles, governance rules, and the implementation challenges we covered. For more concise notes, quizzes, and model answers tailored to UPSC, continue learning with EduRev, where we break topics down the same way you heard here. Stay curious. Practice answering with the federal balance in mind, and you will master this topic for your exams.